Peace, love, and light to everyone, and salute to the gods and goddesses. I wanted to share this transmission. I had a conversation with a young god earlier, and we was into a pretty controversial discussion. All right. Now, when most of my nine ether people are on a journey to consciousness, they have to actually shake out a lot of hatred. You know what I'm saying? Over the years, we've been taught that our history stemmed from slavery. We've been taught, we've been shown all kind of things. You know what I'm saying? But one thing that's been hidden from history is what's referred to as the hidden hand, okay? A lot of individuals aren't aware of the black nobility, all right? Most of the 13 families and Luciferian hierarchy that actually run and could really control this planet are nine ether. Contrary to what you believe, a lot of our own people sold us out. Now, these individuals are actually referred to as what you may call black draconians, all right? You may have heard Rod Hayes mention them. Peace to the brother Rod Hayes. He said they look like us, but they not us. These are extraterrestrial entities that actually, some of them have pointed ears, and a lot of them may have the widow's peak, okay? That's a genetic trait that a lot of them carry, is the widow's peak. And some of them may have ears that come to somewhat of a point at the end. Kind of what they depict as the devil. What they depict as the devil came from these actual beings, all right? And these beings actually live for thousands of years, all right? They can live for thousands of years in the human form. And they actually, a lot of them are low. They low key, okay? And they whitewash. You know, we talk about whitewashing, but these individuals actually wanted to create an enemy for us to have hatred towards. All right, to completely hide themselves. What better way to hide yourself than to create an enemy for the individuals that you plan to actually create mind control over? These are the ones that's keeping us in a state of amnesia, so we don't fully know who we are. And they are also trying to lead a planet because they broke universal laws. They broke cosmic laws. So their time is approaching. You may have heard of Tarnish. Okay, this was a very disagreeable being, okay? It was a reptilian, but she was a benevolent reptilian, okay? But she was like a black draconian or a black reptilian. But again, she was a benevolent being. This was Inky's mom, okay? Princess Id, they referred to her as. Now, Anu actually was Anu formed a covenant. He linked with a reptilian woman as well as Inky, and a lot of the Anunnaki did. But then there was a section of these entities who actually had other intentions. Okay, and when these entities came down, they actually did take the planet. And when they took the planet, they actually remained low key. They remain hidden, so we don't have the ability of knowing who our true enemy is. A lot of the things you see going on the planet are done by the hidden hand. Okay, so when you point the finger at the Caucasian man and say, okay, yes, they have done these shared things. They have been created purposely. The ones, again, I made several videos talking about this. The Caucasian man they didn't just come from Yakub, contrary to what you think. There's several different ways that the Caucasian man came into existence. One of them being the story of Yakub, which was done through the Flugeroids, as well as animals and things of that nature. But then you also do have some that derive from Aldebaran, okay, which is in the constellation of the Pleiades, all right, the planet Aldebaran, all right, and that's in the Pleiades star constellation, okay. So, and these are the beings that tend to be more peace, love, and light. The one that's the individuals that you hear talk about peace and love and so forth, kind of like your Dolores Cannons and things of that nature. All right, these are your individuals that beam towards a light that doesn't have the animalistic energy in them. Now, again, this planet was a huge experiment. All right, you have to remember, and that's what the Garden of Eden and the book of Genesis actually mentioned. It was Gen Isis, actually. Okay, Isis we know was an Anunnaki as well. And the Adamu was actually born of Isis. All right, and this is how you came up with Adam and Eve. Eve was an experiment, and Adam was an experiment. They were separate experimentations. Okay, and that's a whole nother story. But people was already on a planet when Adam and Eve was created. When that experiment was done, there were people outside the Garden of Eden that existed already, human hominids that existed. And what these entities would do is they would experiment with the humans. Okay, they taught us how to have sex. Reptilians taught us how to have sex and things of that nature. This came from the teachings where Credo Mutwa talked about this. All right, so in the Garden of Eden, when they mentioned a reptilian, a snake, it was actually a reptilian that was actually telling Adam, hey, you are more than what you think you are. You are more than what you think you are. You know what I'm saying? And when he bit of some fruit or whatever the case may be, I believe that it was some form of mushroom, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? I believe that he bit off some sort of mushroom that tapped him into the higher realms of consciousness. He had the ability of seeing behind the veil or the illusion that was created, and he realized that he was God too. Okay, and then he fully tapped in. But this was before our DNA was closed, so I believe he was fully enlightened. You know, he became fully aware. They teach that Adam actually had a book that the Council of Nicaea removed. So Adam did have a book that was in the Bible. It would have been in the Bible. It's a whole book called the Garden of Eden that the Council of Nicaea did remove. Okay, so it's a lot of information is hidden from us, and we've been forced to believe that our enemy was, you know, the sixth ether being, when it's really a hidden draconian, black draconian extraterrestrial race, referred to as the hidden hand, is actually puppet master and everything. The president not real, Congress not real. None of these things are actually real. These things are false. Okay, allegedly. I'll say allegedly. Okay, we'll say allegedly for this video. Okay, all of these things are alleged. All right, so basically, these entities allegedly that run this planet actually are really the ones that we should be mad at. Okay, now once we unify and realize that this whole time we had the will pulled over our eyes, we'll be able to conquer and take over this realm again and bring the planet back to a utopia state. A lot of these beings thrive off fear, grief, guilt, anger, and things of that nature, your low frequency vibrations. Okay, so you know, if you keep the mindset, I mean, that's why the laws of Ma'at talk about your heart being light as a feather. All right, and that's just for my non-ether conscious people. You can't, if your heart not light as a feather, you don't have the ability of gravitating to the fifth dimension. We in the third dimension where everything's heavy. All right, everything's heavy. These avatars we in are heavy. Everything's around us is heavy. Fifth dimension is lighter. All right, so with your heart being light as a feather is a representation of ascension. Is a representation of actually being lighter, shedding off your third dimensional body and kind of being more into your etheric body. All right, and in order to raise to that fifth dimension, you can't be navigating through this realm with the concept of hatred. All of these things were created as a fallacy to blindfold us for better mind control. If they can keep us separated, right, through race, through religion, through financial status, anything that they actually have us separated by, then it's easier to control and manipulate us. The day we all come together and realize that everything was an illusion, we all come from different star systems, we all actually were all removed from our spiritual customs. Anything that we originally do naturally, we were slowly but surely cut off from those things. These bodies are more miraculous than we even know. Okay, the abilities like telekinesis. I'm not even supposed to be able to even speak this English language. This language was even created. Okay, we had the ability of clairvoyance, clairaudience. We had the ability of flight. All of these things are going to return to us once the green etherian energy return, and that, which is the heart chakra energy. But in order to reap the benefits of that, and that's called the etherian energy, in order to be able to have that energy or reap the benefits of it, you have to be light as a feather. You have to be in that heart chakra frequency. All right, so you have to recondition your thought process in regards to how you was taught, and realize that this whole planet, this whole realm was hijacked. Okay, it was hijacked. So anything you know now, you have to be willing to rethink and re-educate yourself. All right. Again, as I stated, we've been manipulated. We've been mind controlled. We've been duped into believing that, you know, this is your enemy. This is who you should be mad at. Listen, when the Galactic Federation consists of multiple beings, multiple ETs. If you can't handle seeing a white person or seeing a black person, how you gonna see a blue avian or an insectoid or a reptilian type being? Or, I mean, and again, it's multiple. All extraterrestrials aren't just labeled agreeable or disagreeable. Everything has duality. There's good reptilians, there's good grays, there's good Palladians, there's bad blue avians, there's bad Arcturians, there's bad Anunnaki, there's bad Palladian. All these things have duality. And The ones who actually vibrate in a low frequency are the ones who's actually making a return, okay? And all things that are vibrating in the dark will be peace, love, and... Okay, so basically